The half double crochet is one of my favorite crochet stitches. Not only is it so easy to do, it's considered one of the fundamental basic crochet stitches, but it's also so pretty, and I like that it's really square and dense, which makes it easy to use in lots of different projects, and especially if you're working graphics into your crochet projects, the fact that it's a square stitch makes doing things in a grid a little bit easier. In this video, we're going to be talking about 3 different variations that you can do using a simple half double crochet stitch. 3 different half double crochet clusters. So I've marked them here. I've done a couple of rows of basic half double crochet at the bottom so we can compare and contrast. These first 2 rows here is one kind of half double crochet cluster, and the clusters get progressively looser, so you can see the next 2 rows are a different kind of half double crochet cluster. The difference is very subtle. The first 2 rows of this variation, they're up and down. Actually, I can hold it this way so you can see. They run vertically. The next 2 rows are a little bit crisscross. They lean a little bit towards each side. And the final variation that we're going to talk about in this half double crochet variation video is the 3rd cluster variation, which is a way looser stitch. To start, we're going to do a couple of rows of basic half double crochet just to make sure we're all on the same page. You can chain or start with any length row you want of any number of stitches. To do a standard half double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and that is a standard half double crochet. Now let's do this together a couple more times. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. This is what you should have so far. I'm going to go to the end of the row and I will meet you there. To start our first variation on the half double crochet, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. This is version 1 of a half double crochet cluster stitch. So to start, we're going to work into that very first stitch. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that first stitch, yarn over, pull up. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. We are not going to complete this half double crochet by yarning over and pulling through the 3 loops. What we're going to do is we're going to start another half double crochet in that same stitch. So yarn over, go right back into that same stitch that you just inserted your hook into, yarn over, pull through the stitch. Now you have 5 loops on your hook and you're going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops. That is your first half double crochet cluster stitch. Let's try it again in the next stitch. So find your next stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go back into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. Now you have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops, and that is a half double crochet cluster stitch. Let's do it a few more times together. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go back into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. Now you have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops, and that is a cluster half double crochet. You can see it almost looks like a mini puff stitch. Let's do this a few more times together. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go back into that stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. You have 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. Now you have 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 5 loops. So this is what you should have so far. You can really see how different that looks from a standard half double crochet. We're going to go to the end of the row and I will meet you there. At the end of your row of half double crochet cluster stitches, you should have something that looks like this. It's super pretty. It looks like flat little puff stitches. We're going to turn it over in a second, but first let's chain 1 before we turn so we can start our next variation. On the other side, you have a little bit more yarn definition. You get that nice vertical up and down bar. To start our next half double crochet variation stitch, we're going to chain 1 and we are going to start a half double crochet in the next stitch. So that chain 2 that we've done, 1 chain 1 at the end of the last row and a chain 1 just here, we're going to count it as the first half double crochet, even though it's technically not a half double crochet. We're going to bookmark it and think of it as if it is. Now we're going to start a half double crochet in the next stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through that stitch. Now you have 5 loops on your hook, but you've worked into 2 stitches. Yarn over, pull through all 5 loops on your hook. And that is the second variation of the half double crochet cluster, but this is just 1 stitch, so it'll make more sense as we go along. So for the next stitch, we are going to work into the stitch you just worked into. So not the following stitch, but the one that you just worked into. So we're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch you just worked into, yarn over, pull through that stitch. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Now yarn over and go into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through that stitch. Now yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on your hook. Okay, this is one of those stitches that will start to take shape the more that we do, so let's keep going. Yarn over, go into the stitch that you just worked into. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through that stitch. Yarn over, go into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through that stitch. Now you have 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 5 loops. Can you tell how this looks slightly different than the previous variation? Let's keep going. Yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch that you just worked into. Yarn over, pull through that stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through that stitch. Now you have 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 5 loops. Let's keep going. Yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch you just worked into. Yarn over, pull through that stitch. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through the stitch. Yarn over, pull through all 5 loops on your hook. it looks pretty different from the previous row, doesn't it? Let's keep going. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch you just worked into, yarn over, pull through that stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through that stitch, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops on your hook. You can see how it looks super different from the previous row. We're going to go all the way to the end and I will meet you there. This is what you should have at the end of that row of our second half double crochet cluster stitch variation. Let's take a closer look. So you can see we've done a row of half double crochets, a row of the first variation, and then a row of the second variation. Let's look at the other side. The difference is both subtle and also dramatic. You can imagine how using a variation on the stitch throughout an entire project could drastically change the vibe, the texture, and the drape of a half double crochet project. But it is still just half double crochet, so super easy to learn if you already know how to half double crochet. At the end of the last row, I chained one just so the whole thing wouldn't fall apart when I took my hook out. So if you haven't chained one already, chain one at the end of your last row, turn your work and chain one more. Again, we're going to count that chain 2 that we've just done as if it's a half double crochet, even though it's not. For this version of the half double crochet cluster stitch, we are going to be doing something very similar to what we did before, but you'll see the difference. We're going to be chaining one in between. So let's yarn over, go into that second stitch in this row because we've count that chain 2 as the first half double crochet. So we're going into that next stitch in our row, yarning over, pulling through the stitch. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. You'll have 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 5 loops on your hook. And now we're going to chain 1. Now, instead of working into the same stitch that we just worked into, we're going to work into the next stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. You'll have 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 5 loops on your hook, and chain 1. Now what this does, this creates a very similar effect to the previous row, but it's much looser, much more spacious. There are gaps in between the stitches because of the chain 1. So let's keep going, and I think you'll be able to see the difference pretty easily. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. Now you'll have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops on your hook, chain 1. So you can see as this row takes shape how it is much looser than the previous row. Let's keep going and do a few more together. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops on your hook, chain 1. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through all the stitches, pull through all the loops in your hook, and chain 1. yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops on your hook, and chain 1. This stitch also moves very quickly, so we're at the end of the row. Let's keep going. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops on your hook, and chain 1. You may need to do a little blocking if you do things this way, because you see it kind of shrinks up at the top. Even though it's a more loose stitch, it does pull together a little bit, although you probably won't use all these different variations in one project, so you might be able to avoid the pulling that's happening in the sample. I'm going to fasten off so we can take a look at what we've done. So we can see the differences in between all these half double crochet variations. We have 1 row of standard half double crochet, 1 row of the variation of working 2 half double crochets together into each stitch, and then 1 row of overlapping half double crochets, so 1, 2, and then working into the second stitch again, and a final row where we work 2 half double crochets together with a chain 1 in between. And this is the other side. If you are a half double crochet fan like I am, I hope that this tutorial of 3 super easy variations on half double crochet was helpful or interesting to you. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.